don't make the mistake of thinking they were the only ones, because sitting on the bleachers waiting were other corporate Democrats who would step in if they needed to prevent the passage of that provision. And so I love...
We're not going to talk about every single Republican in lockstep who voted against it. I love how you have Glenn Beck over here, who is an unashamed deep throater of every single conservative. He's like, oh yeah, keep going. Yeah. Oh my God. Like, does she not, like, she's literally the,
Destiny loses it over Anna Kasparian's interview on the Glenn Beck show. It's always fun to see Destiny lose it over nonsense. It's always fun to check in with Destiny. Let's see what he has to say about this.
We might be saying similar things because it's not, the heavens didn't open up.
Right.
You all of a sudden go, I can't do this. I can't say this anymore. So was there a time, yes, it happened slowly, but was there a moment that changed you and said, I can't do this anymore. I can't do it anymore.
I mean, I would say...
Well, people called me a birthing person instead of a woman, and then people made fun of me about a homeless guy. So once that happened, I realized that I needed to 180 on my lifetime of political beliefs and come and support your guys' side.
The phrase "I can't do it anymore"
is
for me
person.
Applies to a handful of policy issues that the Democratic Party has been championing that I don't agree with.
So there's no personal, there was no personal event or anything that happened in your life to where you went,
I mean, I was sexually assaulted by a homeless guy. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, I was sexually...
I was one. Do the birthing person one next.
Assaulted by a homeless guy in Los Angeles in my neighborhood as I was walking my dog.
Oh my gosh.
And it was awful. I mean, I've talked about it multiple times. And look, I don't want to put myself in this position of being like this victim who's looking for empathy, but it is the moment where something very scary happened to me. And it wasn't just that had happened to me. It was the reaction I received from a faction of the left, okay? The social justice left, if you want to call it that, who think that, in some cases, the criminals are actually the victims and the victims are the criminals. Like, it's insane. And I don't know how big this faction is, but they're loud enough to push me away completely. And so...
I don't know how big this faction is. Aren't you a media professional? Don't you think that should be, like, important? Like, maybe, like, part of your fucking job to know how big those people are?
It wasn't that had happened to me. It was the reaction of the left and how they were far more concerned with me talking about it because they felt that was stigmatizing the homeless community. I have never gone out of my way to say negative things about homeless people. I mean, people who are living out on the streets are, in a lot of cases, victims who need help, right?
Yes.
But I was victimized by a guy that was strung out on something. Could have been meth. He was jerking around as he was walking toward me with his buddy. And
gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. But it took a while for me to get over that because I still have to walk my dog. And so multiple times a day, I literally have to think about that incident. And so I thought maybe it would help to talk about it. And then when I did talk about it, I totally regretted it because I was shocked at the way people reacted to me. But what that moment taught me was some of the characteristics of the quote unquote left that I thought were good, right? Like the kindness, the open-mindedness, the willingness to go out of your way to look out for people who need help, like that kind of stuff. There's a portion of the left that has shed those characteristics. They've taken on a more nihilistic approach to things, and they don't even believe in reforms. They just believe that everything about every political system, every program we have, every institution we have is just worthless and we need to burn it all down.
Isn't that kind of like what you two believe right now? I'm so curious if we ever come back to this point. What are the institutions or current parts of our system that you want to save? And the answer needs to be something more substantive than Bill of Rights. Okay. So that nihilistic nature, I think, leads to a lot of really bad ideas and terrible behavior online. And that's pushing people out, pushing people away. And you look at places like Los Angeles, for instance, right? Or Cook County, which is where Chicago is. I paid very close attention to Cook County and what the election results were going to be in Cook County, because you have an influx of migrants going to Chicago, right? You have a lot of anger among the black community in Chicago because they've been nickel and dimed by their local government.
It's crazy.
And at the same time, their mayor, Brandon Johnson, is doling out the cash for migrants and justifying it. And so they're angry. And so I'm watching the black have an influx of migrants going to Chicago, right? You have a lot of anger among the black community in Chicago because they've been nickel and dimed by their local government.
It's crazy.
And at the same time, their mayor, Brandon Johnson, is doling out the cash for migrants and justifying it. And so they're angry. And so I'm watching all of this happen, and I'm just like, Democrats. I don't even know what. I don't even know how to look. How much money is the mayor allocating to, when she says migrants, does she mean illegal migrants? And we're just like mixing all the terms up because it's just scary foreigner people, and it's all like, it's okay.
Well, are we even supposed to be giving money to legal migrants? Like, is that how it works? I mean, as far as I know, I never heard of that. Is that normal? And do other countries do that? Like if I were to move to another country and I migrate there legally, do they give me money? Is that like he's talking about like, oh, you're conflating both of them and about giving money or allocating money. I don't think it matters if they're allocating money to legal or illegal immigrants. I don't think, as far as I know, we shouldn't be giving money to either. Might be wrong on that, of course. What do you guys think? Sound off in the comment section below. Let's continue.
Democrats need to wake up because more and more voters feel like they're being abandoned by the Democratic Party, economically speaking. And everyone got mad at me. Everyone's like, oh, you're anti-immigrant. I'm not anti-immigrant. I'm not anti-immigrant.
Immigrants built this country.
Yes, my parents are immigrants.
Yes.
Okay, I am not anti-immigrant. But I do have a problem with the Biden administration neglecting the border, pretending like there wasn't a migrant crisis at all, allowing these municipalities to be inundated with migrants without any federal resources to deal with the problem. And what? We're going to pretend like that's not going to cause electoral harm? Of course it is. So when you look at places like LA, there was an 11-point swing toward the Republican Party. Kamala Harris still won, LA County, but 11% toward Republicans, that's crazy in Los Angeles.
My problem with the policy there, again, I could be friends and debate and whatever with anyone.
The Coronavirus State and Local Fiscal Recovery Funds Program, this was part of, I believe, authorized by the American Rescue Plan Act, delivers $350 billion to state, territorial, local, and tribal governments across the country to support the response to and recovery from COVID-19. There was so much money under the Biden admin that was given out to local governments, state and city governments. But okay.
If it's honest, Thomas Jefferson said, question with boldness, even...
And we're just like mixing all the terms up because it's just...
I could be friends and debate and whatever with anyone.
I'm not anti-immigrant. I'm not anti-immigrant.
Immigrants built this country.
Yes, my parents are immigrants.
Yes. My...
Local governments, state and city governments.
Sorry, guys. I was trying to figure out what he was responding to there with this clickety-clackety of the freaking keyboard here and pulling this up. I was confused. I was like, wait, what? I thought they were talking about... I was trying to see if I missed something. So sorry if I'm like backtracking here.
Allowing these municipalities to be inundated with migrants without any federal resources to deal with the problem. And what? We're going to pretend like that's not going to cause electoral harm? Of course it is. So when you look at places like LA, there was an 11-point swing toward the Republican Party. Kamala Harris still won, LA County, but 11% toward Republicans, that's crazy in Los Angeles.
My problem with the policy there, again, I could be friends and debate and whatever with anyone.
Okay, I don't know what he's looking up here. So yeah, all right. I guess good point, Destiny. Let's see what else he has to say here.
If it's honest, Thomas Jefferson said, question with boldness even the very existence of God, for if there be a God, he must surely...
God, stop quoting these old fucking people that you know nothing about and don't give a fuck about what they think about any of this shit. God, it's so fucking cringe. You would appeal to people that would kill themselves if they saw somebody like Donald Trump winning the fucking White House. It is so fucking cringe.
I mean, is there any surprise that Destiny would have these things to say about God? I already knew that he's like this atheist or whatever. He doesn't believe in God, but it absolutely shows. I mean, look at this dude. I mean, does he have anything in his life to show for it? I mean, do you know that this guy, like, he's been married twice and he has like a kid too? But you wouldn't know that. Does this guy seem like he's some kind of family man or even a good father for his child? And then, he had his last marriage. It became like this open marriage, and there's those leaked tapes about Nick Fuentes that I never watched myself, but I heard about them, and it's very gross. But when you see this man right here, this little troll-like man with this lifestyle, I see a guy who does need God and Jesus, but obviously he doesn't feel that way, and that's why he's in the state that he's in. That's why he believes in this degenerate lifestyle, and he promotes this degenerate. Like, I saw like a debate he had with Candace Owens or whatever, where they were defending these OnlyFans girls, and Candace Owens was saying like, no, I try to preach this, don't do OnlyFans lifestyle. And Destiny, and she was like, Destiny, you're like a 35-year-old man. Like, I get like a young guy saying this, like a 20-year-old dude, but you're 35. Like, you should know better by now. Why are you still preaching this stuff? Because Destiny is like an absolute degenerate. Like he is an absolute degenerate. I have no other comment on that other than yeah, and it makes sense that this dude who doesn't believe in God, he lives this complete lifestyle. This complete trashy lifestyle.
Pharmaceutical drugs. What can we do? This is the thing. The Democrats like to play good cop, bad cop. So you'll have the majority of the Democratic Party, in the Senate in particular, pretend like they're all on board with Biden's agenda and the idea of having Medicare negotiate drug prices.
We have the same problem in the Republican Party, by the way.
And then you'll always have the bad cops who are willing to raise their hands and basically torpedo that provision. And that's essentially what happened with Senators Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema. But don't make the mistake of thinking they were the only ones, because sitting on the bleachers waiting were other corporate Democrats who would step in if they needed to prevent the passage of that provision. And so I love
We're not going to talk about every single Republican in lockstep who voted against it. I love how you have Glenn Beck over here, who is an unashamed deep throater of every single conservative. He's like, oh yeah, keep going. Yeah. Oh my God. Like does she not, like, she's literally the, as like Anna comes on their program, like, yes. Oh yeah. Manchin, Sinema. Yes. Keep giving me the horrible the corporate Dems. I'm sorry. Did you say donor class? Yes. Give me that. More of that. Yes. More of the donor class. Oh yeah, the billionaires, the corporate Dems. Yes, the Dems are now doing hawkish foreign policy. Absolutely, yes. Oh my, it's the Dems that are. You said pro-war. Now Republicans are anti-war. Give me Ukraine, and the Democrats are supporting Ukraine now, right? And we're not even doing anything about homeless people, and we're getting illegal immigrants that the Dems are taking, and they're destroying healthcare, and they don't want to do anything for the. Like it's literally, it's like this. Like just come here and like shit on the Dems for it. Like like.
Watching Democrats celebrate themselves because now Medicare can negotiate.
Like, we're not going to talk at all. Who do you think is blocking these reforms? You know that Trump is the one that tried to actually kill all parts of the ACA when he came in. We're just going to pretend that didn't happen?
The drug prices of 10...
Here's a question. We're 35 minutes left. I don't think a single negative thing has been said by Trump or the Republican Party right now. Do you think a single negative thing will be said about Trump or the Republicans by the end of this?
10 drugs. And sure, that's better than nothing. But... I mean, I'm not going to give you a reward for whittling down a policy that made sense.
Destiny's surprised that Anna Kasparian is on a right-wing show like Glenn Beck, and they're not saying anything negative about the Republicans. Destiny is surprised by that for some reason. You know what's wild, though, about Destiny, these other lefties? And he's saying that Anna Kasparian, like he starts off this video by saying Anna Kasparian made a complete, like, about face, like a complete 180 on her political stances because... she had these bad experiences like with the homeless person and the whole birthing person thing, like that she did a complete about face, but she absolutely hasn't done about face. Like she still pushes left-wing propaganda. Like she still is all about that left-wing stuff. She still pushes smishmortions as like reproductive health care and stuff. Like she hasn't done a complete 180. Like I would agree with Destiny if all of a sudden her stance just completely changed on all of these things. But that's not what's happening at all. Like, she's still pretty left. She's just more toward the center now. Like, she's just kind of more fair about things. Like, she's just pretty much more normal now. Like, she's more reasonable. That's the only thing that's changed about her. And for some reason, this offends Destiny. Like, look how upset he got, like, by watching this. Like, for someone who claims to be independent-minded as him, why is he getting so upset? Like, about... these things, and it's because they're not insulting Trump enough. This dude watched Glenn Beck because he wants to see people insulting Trump, which Destiny, I'm telling you, you're watching the wrong shows. I'm still the jury is still out with me in whether or not Destiny is a shill or if he has TDS. I know he has this like really strong hatred for Republicans and like Donald Trump and stuff. But I don't know if it's shill because he knows that's what the people like to watch him. Because, when he had when he had the Kyle Rittenhouse opinion where he pretty much was normal about that and said, oh, yeah, that was self-defense. A lot of people got upset at him. People jumped down his throat. He debated Pac-Man and Cenk Uygur over it. I wonder if that was like, I wonder if he had this thought and was like, I'm getting all this backlash and all my fans are dropping out on me. I'm losing subscribers. His jaw swiveling back and forth as he's saying this to himself. I'm losing all my subscribers. I better stick to just shilling the left because that's pretty safe for me. Like, I don't know if that's what happened or not. The jury's still out. What do you guys think about this, huh? Sound off in the comment section down below. Subscribe to my channel if you enjoy content like this. And if you do enjoy content like this, I have a whole bunch of goodies for you on the screen to click away and enjoy.